Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back for another video. In today's video, I want to talk about one thing and one thing only with a lot of subpoints. Okay, you are too afraid. I saw this graphic and I just want to open it up like this. I saw this graphic on Twitter showing the historic fear greed index, at least for the last 2.5 years or so. And it blew me away. And so August, we are in the month of August. We are 4 months after the halving. And we are at a level of fear with Bitcoin at $58,000. We are at a level of fear not seen since before the FTX collapse. And it's amazing to me. Okay, the FTX collapse was one of the scariest moments in crypto history. And we have, at some point in the month of August, gotten to a level below the FTX collapse. The FTX collapse, Bitcoin went down under $16,000. We're sitting at $58,000 Bitcoin. We are sitting in a position where Bitcoin is being bought up by large wallet addresses at embarrassing levels. Like the amount of Bitcoin that is being bought right now, I am telling you, it is very high. And I'm not just talking about the ETFs, the spot Bitcoin ETFs. They've actually been a little bit more neutral lately, but I am talking about just institutions. I'm talking about MicroStrategy. They're buying a lot of Bitcoin. They're trying to raise money to buy more Bitcoin by diluting their shares to buy something that cannot be diluted. We're seeing on-chain activity of whales buying large amounts of Bitcoin, and this is happening at the same time that the fear and greed index is lower, has gotten lower than the FTX collapse when it felt like the world was about to end, at least for crypto holders. This is not right. Okay. This is not appropriate for right now. What's the difference between right now? I mean, there isn't. The difference is not something that I want to focus on. It's more so in terms of probability. Sure, we could go lower. We can always go lower. There's people calling for Bitcoin to go to its 2024 open at $44,000. There's other people calling for Bitcoin to go down to the 200-week simple moving average, which is at about $38,000 right now. If we go down there, okay, we have a plan. I watch my video where I talk about what if $74,000 was the peak. Well, then there's a plan, okay? But probability is on your side for the short term, at least. Number one, I'm going to give you several reasons why probability is on your side. Number one, I already mentioned this, but we are post-halving. Okay, so in 2022, November of 2022, that was in the depths of the bear market. It was a down-only year. It was a really depressing year for crypto holders. We went down much further than most people thought we were gonna go, down to under $16,000. And there were people at the time calling for Bitcoin to go to $12,000, to go under $10,000. Some for even calling it to go to $5,000. And at that time, we didn't know what the floor was. I mean, it's easy to look back now and think like, yeah, you know what, that was a no-brainer to buy at that time. And I'm telling you, in November of 2022, it was not easy to buy $16,000 Bitcoin. Now at $58,000, it's the fact that we would be more afraid to buy Bitcoin during a time when people were calling for Bitcoin to go much lower and it was a lot more believable. It doesn't quite make sense, but there's other things as well. You know, we're 4 months after the halving. That was the middle of the bear market. It makes sense, middle of the bear market, to think things are going to go lower. 4 months after the halving, at this level of fear, when we've already had these spot Bitcoin ETFs accumulate and take out of the system large amounts of Bitcoin, when we're seeing 1,000 Bitcoin wallet holders buy large amounts of Bitcoin, it doesn't quite make sense. Even though you know that I'm not nearly as bullish as a lot of people are, I am a bull right now. Belief alone in what is supposed to come, because it's what's come historically, can and most likely, probability-wise, will take us higher. Okay, but there's other things as well. Looking at the Dow Jones, looking at the NASDAQ, we are seeing the Dow Jones and NASDAQ, they've taken a little bit of a break over the last few weeks, and they are well on their way back. We have the Dow Jones well above $40,000. We have the NASDAQ ready to put in new all-time highs. And so some could respond, yeah, that's the Magnificent Seven. The Magnificent people are buying the Magnificent Seven again because it's extremely concentrated. That's why we saw the Dow Jones and NASDAQ. Somebody asked me, like, why have they decoupled? And I would say they really haven't decoupled. It's just that people are buying the Magnificent Seven stocks, and it's just extremely concentrated. But I would say that what we've seen recently is increasing breadth in the stock market. And what does that relate to crypto? I'll tell you in a second. But increasing breadth, we are seeing the Russell 2000 start to climb again. It got rejected at a 786 retrace from its all-time high to its bear market bottom, and it's been ranging for a bit, but it got up to a 786 retrace, got rejected, went down, and now it's climbing its way back up to that 786 retrace. If the Russell 2000 does break through that, I think that that's going to be a good sign that we're going to be moving right along with it, with crypto. And so breadth in the market. So yeah, people are buying the Magnificent Seven, but we're seeing signs that they're spreading that out. That does include crypto. That includes Bitcoin. We see a strong correlation with Bitcoin with the Russell 2000. We're seeing signs of breadth showing up in the market again. That is a good sign for crypto. If you see the Russell 2000 break through, here, do me a favor, pull up the ticker IWM, that's a Russell 2000 ETF. If that breaks through 227, that's going to be a good sign that it is time for us to go higher in the crypto markets. New all-time high in Bitcoin, new all-time high in the total 3 market caps. The others market cap, which is outside of the top 10, I do believe in 2024 that we have the potential and we will see new all-time highs for all of those. I want to remind you again, Bitcoin's dominance is about peaked out. And that's not just me saying that. I talked about Benjamin Cohen, who's been talking about Bitcoin dominance for quite a while. And so that means for you with your altcoins, Bitcoin dominance, it takes the stairs up and the elevator down. All right, and you can look at the Bitcoin dominance chart and you can see it's been taking the stairs up. It has topped out at 58%. A lot of people are down on utility, and that is the time that I want to get into utility-based altcoins. And what I think, even with a move to $80,000 for Bitcoin, is that Bitcoin's dominance will plummet under 50%, hopefully under 40%. I'm not entirely sure of that, but an aggressive move down under 50%, which means, because people ask me, all right, what about, does that mean that Bitcoin is going to plummet? No, that means that money is flowing to altcoins. As far as I see it, the environment is ripe for money to flow to altcoins soon. We may not be there yet. Maybe Bitcoin dominance has not peaked just yet at 58%. Maybe it'll peak at 60%. But what comes after that shortly is a move where your altcoins are strategically the better play. And it hasn't been that case for quite a while. I mean, if we're real, if we're honest, it would have been just better to hold Bitcoin and not worry about catching that hot crypto narrative that you were trying to catch earlier this year. But not only that, so fear and greed is exceptionally low. The Dow Jones, NASDAQ, IWM, Russell 2000 look primed for another move up. Take a look at the DXY. The DXY is now at a lower point than it's been since January 5th of 2024. It's been 8 months, almost 8 months. It's been 7.5 months since the DXY was at this low of a level. It continues to drop. The US dollar index dropping means that we are primed for an environment where we're able to go risk on for a time. Now, I am not saying a time being all of 2025, this massive bull run, but I am saying for the remainder of 2024, and we'll see about after that, the environment favors risk on activity. It's one of these things where, I mean, given the level of fear in the market, the sentiment does not match at all the environment. Okay, so maybe the Bears have been in control since March. Maybe they're going to ride this even lower to an epic victory, and there is going to be a time that I'm on their side. But again, probability-wise, that time is not now. All right, so that is all I have for today. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful rest of your week. I will most certainly be seeing you in another video. Peace.